Good morning, good afternoon. Hope you're having a wonderful day, wherever you might be and whatever you might be doing. I want to talk about the sin of gluttony, one of the 7 deadly sins. And I want to tell you that it's not just about food. It definitely can start that way. And I mean, your body is a temple, and if you're destroying it by not able to control your appetite and eating 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 calories a day, and you're not a bodybuilder or a professional athlete, you are destroying your body through the sin of gluttony, and that's very bad. However, it doesn't just apply to food. And let me state for the record, I am a gluttonous sinner, but I'm working on it. I'm not talking about food, though. Conquered that beast a long time ago. I am talking about the consumption of digital materials, whether that be music videos, video games, movies, political podcasts like mine that you're listening to right now. You gotta take a break. You can't spend all your free time consuming digital media. God, I mean, when I look back in my life, if I was to die today and I went to the pearly gates of heaven and God, I think it's St. Peter, whoever's in front of heaven, and he was to tell me or ask me, hey, do you know what you spent most of your life actually doing? If you look at all the hours you lived on earth, do you know what you were doing for most of that time? Besides sleeping? The answer would be playing video games. I have literally spent most of the hours of my living awake life playing games. You know what? And I'm approaching my mid-30s, and if I change that now, hopefully after a full lifespan, that won't be the answer anymore. And I'll just be able to say, I spent the first third or half of my life playing games. Man, time is a very limited resource. And if you're not making money from video games and able to put food on the table, you're not creating anything and you're wasting the time you have on this earth. That being said, the same can be said for music videos or even music. If all you're doing is listening to music, yeah, that's great. And music gives you a good feeling, but it's just another way of getting a dopamine rush. And you're wasting your time. You're not actually creating anything. Now, if you're building games and you are building music and releasing that, whether you do it for free or whether you do it for money, that's making art, and that is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking the consumption of those arts. Same thing goes when I'm listening to podcasts all morning. How many right-wing, awesome podcasts are there on YouTube? It's endless. You can spend, there's not enough hours in a day to listen to everyone's message. You have to curb all this use. You have to take a break from it, and you have to balance it out. What I do now is I set a hard stop for gaming. If I'm gaming in the evening, it stops at 8:30 to 9. Right in that window, I'm done. I have a much harder time sleeping if I try to go straight from playing games to in my bed, especially the later I stay up, because that stuff is mad stimulant on your brain. However, if I switch from gaming to reading a book, I'll fall asleep mid-sentence. I'll start reading a few pages and I'll be conked out, and I'll have to put my phone down and I'm out. I'm gone till the next day. It is the best way to fall asleep. But not only that, I'm broadening my horizons and learning new things. My dad and my mom always got on my case when I was younger because I chose to play games instead of read books. But part of the problem with what they were saying to me is they didn't tell me what kind of books I should be reading. They read novels, fiction, and to me, fiction is not much different than watching a movie. You're learning how to speak and write, and you're learning vocabulary and the definitions of new words when you read, which is a good thing. But fiction doesn't teach you much else. Once I discovered how-to books, history books, reality and truth in reading, Those are the kinds of books I read. Self-improvement books, how to build or create books. Those are the kinds of books you got to be reading now. Books about the real world history, things like that. Gluttony is a sin, and you can get to the point where you're reading too much books too, and then you need to take a break from that, and you need to meditate, go outside, do some physical activity. But, I just want to stress, ask yourself, what is the one thing I spend all my free time doing? Am I doing it too much? What am I creating from that activity? If you're spending all your time producing beats on Fruity Loops or Ableton, hey, you know what? Power to you, because all that time you're putting in is going to create a product and create something that other people can buy or consume or be affected by. If you're spending all your free time gaming or watching podcasts or music videos, podcasts, arguably you're learning something that you can share, but not to the point where you hear the same message over and over again. Then you're just wasting your time. And if you're gaming, like I'm a gamer, you need to admit it's a huge waste of time. It's the biggest waste of time ever, especially when, I know myself. I do this all the time. I look at my Steam library on my PC and I say, oh, I haven't played this in a while. And it's like, dude, the game you bought 4 years ago that you've beaten 4 times, you're going to beat it and play it again? Why? Ask yourself why. You know what's going to happen, and you know nothing's going to come of it, and you're just going to waste more of this precious time you have as a living human before the afterlife. Gluttony is a sin. I think I'm going to do more topics like this, talking about how to use your time to effectively teach yourself new things and to self-improve. Okay, that's it. See ya.